Broke my cup. Urine analysis and quitter's day. Welcome to day 1447 of What You Up To Now. Breaking my cup. I don't know where it went flying off to. I'll find it after my video. So, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today is, again, day 1447. Talking about urine analysis in the 365-day BU. Oh, grabbed the wrong one. That is not urine analysis. That's nominal group technique. My fancy visual aids that I use for my videos, because it's easy for me. I've got the fancy technological electronic boards and things, but to me it's more hassle to use them than just to pick up, learn to write backwards, and show what I'm talking about, right? I want it to be quick, easy, simple, something that anybody could do. So we talked about the urine analysis today. The urine analysis is a decision-making tool, a problem-solving decision-making tool, and it's a way for us to analyze diverse options. When we're faced with a challenge, the O&R SOAP framework, which we are covering in the BU 365-day challenge, we're going to be covering it every month. Once a month, we will cover it for a specific area or aspect of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, confidence, and communication. And that's my way of dividing up my life. Each of us have different ways of doing that. It's up to you, but that's what I'll be using as a framework for going through excuse me, sneezing in my videos and doing the annual challenge. Every year I do a challenge. I've done challenges my entire life, but over the previous 4+ years, I did an annual challenge where I picked one thing, one area of focus, and every day we did something to move us toward that particular goal. Last year, for example, it was being more centered. Do one thing every day that centers you, help you get to know yourself better. And I thought, well, I want to keep working in that direction. I feel so much better than the beginning of last year. Beginning of last year, whoa. And then the end, much better. So I decided, instead of following along with these journal books that I've used the last 4 years, I would create my own challenge. Well, in doing that, I discovered that, number one, I have to have a plan. Number two, it's not as easy as I thought to just wing it, and I need to map it out and actually structure out. And so I thought, well, what's the framework that I want to use for this challenge, instead of just making it random activities that move me toward getting to know myself better and being the best and becoming a continually improving version of myself. What do I want to do? How would I do that? How would I transform? How would I help others transform? And I decided it's the way I do it now, and I'm going to use that same framework that I came up with, the SOAP framework, during at the beginning of COVID. Like so many others, I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? This is crazy. What are we going to do? I've been doing challenges, but do I want to keep teaching people how to do challenges, or do I want to switch and pivot a little and figure out, how am I going to keep moving through this time period? And that's when I decided and came up with the SOAP framework, because we're always faced with changes and challenges, and how we handle them versus how we let them handle us is really important. So 10 times over the last 2 years, since April of 2020 and the 10th one in December of 2021, we did a 30+ day challenge every month called the Get Up and Go Challenge. And those are actually available on Facebook, Get Up and Go Challenge private group page, under the guide section, in order. So if you're curious, you could go back in and you could listen to any of those, or you could type in a certain subject. You could type in urine analysis, and you could get all the different videos where I talked about urine analysis. Now, I don't think I did it in the early on challenges. I didn't add tools until probably the end of 2020, when I was like, I'm using all these tools in my life. Why wouldn't I share them with other people so they can understand, make the tools their own, and use them to make their life work easier? So that's when I started sharing tools. I think it was after No Nonsense November 2020 that I'm like, okay, well, if I can come up with 30 tools, 30 tools to talk about in November, I definitely have plenty of tools to talk about and incorporate into the challenge, so why don't I do that? So that's when I started doing that. Today we talked about, for Supersize Your Business, Quitter's Day. I found out yesterday, I thought about the middle of the month is when most people quit their New Year's resolutions, so I'm going to cover that. And it turns out, as I was looking into New Year's resolutions and statistics and people quitting, I found 37 different idioms about quitting. And then I thought this morning, I don't want to talk even more than a couple of days about quitting So I certainly am not going to do 37 idioms about it. I'm not going to go 37 days talking about it. Number one, I want to focus on the things I want, not on the things that I don't want. So I'm not going to focus on quitting. I'm not going to focus on failure. We'll talk about it here and there. We're not going to talk about it for days and days on end. But it turns out that the second Friday in January is considered Quitter's Day. It's by that point that the vast majority of people have quit their New Year's resolutions. And if they haven't, oh, well, here's a day that gives you permission to quit your New Year's resolution. But today we talked about the main reasons why people fail with their New Year's resolutions. And then I think tomorrow, to close the loop on that, we're going to talk about, well, what can you do to make sure that if you set New Year's resolutions, you will succeed at them. I personally do not set New Year's resolutions. I gave them up, I don't remember, probably 20 years ago. I set goals every year, and then I break those down. And that's part of what we'll learn in the continuous improvement BU challenge, because I'm sharing what I actually do that has transformed my life and given me success in all the different areas and aspects of my life, not just business, not just our life, just in all the areas. And like everybody else, I have what I consider success in certain areas of my life, and I'm not as successful in other areas of my life. And it depends what nuance of that area of your life you're looking at. If I look at my health, I am so lucky to even be here talking, that I so appreciate that. But there's other parts of my health that I still, struggle with. And one of those should have been a New Year's resolution, but I don't set New Year's resolutions. So it's a goal. And I'm actually working through it this month in the BU 365-day challenge. Do one thing every day that improves us. We're doing physical this month, and I'm working through one of my big limiting beliefs and roadblocks and that's what I do. I demonstrate exactly what we're learning by actually using myself as a guinea pig and doing it on myself. We are, I've said this for years, we are our own greatest, best science experiment, right? All the talk about COVID, all the talk about vaccinations, all of it has to be filtered through what is right for you, what is right for me. I have to filter all of the information, and I don't look at all the information, I'm going to tell you right now, because we're not getting the real information. But even if we were, it's up to each and every one of us to go through and make the decision and the choice that's right for us. Some of us have health challenges that make the vaccine or COVID a bigger threat for us. And it's up to us to make and take personal responsibility for our actions, our behaviors, our choices when it comes to what are we going to do about our health? Are we going to continue to isolate ourselves? We older people, guess what? It's a lot easier if we choose to self-isolate or take more precautions than it is to expect the entire population of the planet to protect us and take precautions that they don't really need for themselves. They're just, it doesn't make sense, right? It's like when at work, one person is tardy all the time. So the management and the leadership puts in all these strict rules and regulations about tardiness and about attendance because they have one problem person. So instead of talking to the one person that is being the problem and having them change or improve or go work somewhere else, they negatively impact the entire culture and population. I've seen that so many times. And it's one of the easiest mistakes to make because people tend to take the path of least resistance, right? We want to make everybody happy. Not possible. So do the right thing. Do what's right for you, what feels right for you all the time, and you'll be better off than if you're trying to please people all the time or try to make everybody happy. Guess what? Everybody is so different and so diverse. It's not possible. And it's not our job. It's each individual's responsibility and job to motivate themselves, make themselves happy, yada, yada, yada. Every feeling that we feel is our responsibility. Every emotion that we have is our responsibility. A topic for another day. So Quitter's Day, I never knew there was such a thing until today. So or yesterday, I thought that was pretty interesting. I suppose there is probably a day, now if I open my mind and think about, life outside my little circle, there's probably a day for absolutely anything I or anyone else could imagine, right? Somebody's probably made a day for that. So I shouldn't have been surprised if there was a Quitter's Day. still working on, and will hopefully finish up my overall framework for 2022 for the BU 365-day challenge. I'm up to, I think, June or July. I don't remember. I'll have to look at it today. I haven't gotten much time to work on it. This last week was a busy week. The beginning of the year is always busy. So I have to just take the little snippets of time that I can get, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, to work on it. And that isn't super effective when you're doing an annual plan for something and breaking it down. So I have to get a block of time over this weekend. Probably tomorrow will be the first chance I get to actually sit down for a 2-hour block of time and work on that project. Now, if I have a solid, uninterrupted 2 hours, I can probably knock it out. If I don't, if I got other stuff going on and there's other distractions, it's not going to get done. And I'll be saying the same thing next week. Oh, I wish I had this done already. But it doesn't matter, because October, November, December I've got the framework for the first 9 months through September done. So I can actually wait till this summer, see how the challenge is rolling out over the course of the months. And I will probably have to do that anyway, right? Even if we make a plan, I'll probably have to change it anyway. But October, November, and December are the 3 months that I really need to come up with what do I really want to do these 3 months in the framework, because I haven't decided the overall theme for those months. But I will between now and I got till September, right? All right. Any questions about online or offline businesses, hit me up. Otherwise, have an awesome day. I'm going to hang out with my infant granddaughter today while her folks go snowboarding. So I'm excited about that. We have lots of fun together. It's amazing and fun to watch how fast little human beings can change and grow and develop. And it reminds us that we're capable of that as well. We just have to decide that we are. I think we think that kids change and grow and develop so fast because they're being exposed to and learning and adopting so many things. But we all have that ability if we so choose, whenever we choose. So at 61, almost 62, if I choose to change and do things differently, I can do that as soon as I decide. I'll see you tomorrow.